Hello.
Hi.
I am here with Matt.
Yeah.
AKA my boyfriend. Woo.
Boyfriend.
I got him on camera.
It's a rare occurrence.
I know, you're like never on camera. You're always like, no.
No.
It burns us. It burns.
Get out of here.
Anyways, I convinced Matt to be in this video because we're going to be talking about Animal Crossing. So I started playing Animal Crossing, what, 2 weeks ago? I think
so.
about 2 weeks ago, and you started playing like a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're both pretty hooked on it, and we want to just tell you guys our initial impressions of the game. Spoiler alert, it's awesome! First thing we want to talk about are the graphics. So this is a very cute and cartoonish game. There's a lot of like punny references. Like, what's one?
Maybe too many punny references.
No!
But this isn't a graphics thing. Maybe we could call it aesthetics
Yeah, aesthetics.
instead of graphics.
I guess that's the right word, like
Yeah.
aesthetics. It's very consistent throughout though.
Yeah.
It's like cartoonish, you know, like almost like not
Yeah.
slapstick, but like funny and silly.
It's
like,
silly. That's the better word.
Yeah,
it's
like,
silly.
like
It's a very silly
lighthearted,
game.
silly kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I think that fits with everything that's in the game really well. Like
Yeah,
I
it
think,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah, if they went for like super realistic, I don't think it would work
No.
very well.
It wouldn't be the same type of game at that point.
Right? Yeah.
These type of games, none of them try to do the super hyper realistic. It's not the right goal.
Next up, we have characters, and characters are really interesting because there's like what 40 something different, no 400.
I was like, what are you talking about?
400 something different villagers that you can get, along with like the main characters like Tom Nook and like Blathers and all of those kind of people. So we have very different characters. So
Yeah, and
far.
everyone will, because you can only have 10.
Right.
And this fits a lot into the graphics category too. Like, the characters are consistent to the aesthetic theme of the game. I looked at literally every character in the game, and I'm pretty ambivalent on most of them.
Really?
Yeah, like they fit the world well. Like, that's fine. But there was only a handful that I was like, oh, this one's cute. I hope this one joins my village.
So I agree that there's definitely ones that you're like, wow, that one's really cute, but for the most part they're pretty consistent. Like
Yeah.
they're just like, okay, like that's what that looks like. But I would argue that once you get to know them, they all have very distinct personalities, and those personalities are like what endear you to the different characters.
I mean, I guess, but we don't know enough about this yet. But if you had, 5 different jocks on your island, are they going to act really similar?
Well, my jock is a pig, and he goes wee 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 when he laughs, and like that's hilarious.
They all have their own sayings.
Yeah, but I think they also have like their own goals and like.
Yeah, they do.
I think they're all a little bit different.
Okay.
And I really like that.
Okay.
Like my deer character loves to read, and I totally in my headcanon have her like dating Poppy.
Her name's Fauna. She's one of the really
Yes,
cute ones.
She's adorable.
She's great.
One of my first villagers that joined was Poppy, and Poppy, I was just like, he looks okay. He likes to eat a lot.
Is it Poppy or Pappy?
I don't know if it's Poppy or Pappy. It's P-A-P-I.
I would think Pappy by default.
Pappy? Pappy? Poppy? Tell us in the comments. How do you pronounce this guy's name? I don't know how you're going to tell us that in the comments. Do little like pronunciation marks or
Well, you
whatever.
could say it's Happy or Hoppy.
Anyways, I'm pretty sure that he has depression because he taught me the crying emote, and he was talking about how sometimes it's good to just like have a good cry when you're feeling sad, and
Which is true.
which is very true, yes. But I feel like in video games, a lot of times when characters have depression or anxiety, they're like in that mode of struggle all the time, and you don't see a lot of characters that have like overcome depression or overcome anxiety.
Or dealing with
Yeah.
in a healthy way.
Exactly.
Is the better way to put it, I think.
Exactly, yeah. And I feel like seeing that character like instantly like do that, it instantly endeared me to him in a way that I haven't seen in other games,
Yeah.
and I thought that was really cool. I don't know
Yeah.
if you have any like experiences you've had with characters.
Not
so
yet, because
far.
I've only been playing for a couple days, so like the experiences aren't as in depth. I don't think Flo or Flip will show that type of depth.
Yeah.
Especially Flip. He's a monkey, and all he talks about is like doing weights and doing sports things. Like it's all he cares about, and I think that's okay. I think that's consistent. It fits the wholesome silliness of the game.
I guess maybe I'm just taking the characters and imagining more of their
You might
lives.
be, which is great. You know, we call that emergent gameplay. It's a wonderful thing.
Right. They like, I feel like they leave enough open that you can kind of like take a character and be like, oh, that's the like emo chick, cool, or like, oh hey, like that one's a jock, but he also is like this, and like, I don't know. I would run with that in my
Yeah,
head.
you would. And I might too eventually, but not this early.
Next up, we're going to talk about gameplay. Woot! So the gameplay of Animal Crossing is extremely relaxing. When I first got to my island, and I'm pretty sure you did the same thing, like I picked up all the weeds. And I was having a great time.
This kind of fits the sandbox genre. There might be something of a game there with actual goals, and there are here with like getting a better house. Like you can call that like the quote-unquote main quest.
Yeah, and like getting a 5-star island.
And getting a 5-star island and you know all this stuff. Those are actual goals that you can consider the main part of the game, but there's so much more you can do. And one of the things about sandbox games that's both awesome but also addictive is it's really easy for you to set your own little goals. Like first I'm going to weed this part of the island, and then this part, and then this part, and then I'm going to pick all the fruit, and then I'm going to chop all the wood, and then I'm going to catch all the bugs, and I'm going to catch all the fish, and before you know it, 20 hours go by.
Yeah.
And so it's important that if you have an addictive personality or if you know these type of games suck you in, like be ready to temper that. Be ready to like have a clear like, hey, I'm going to play for an hour, I'm going to play for 2 hours. Like have that set up beforehand so you don't do what she did where she might have played for the first like 10 hours straight and I had to make sure she got in bed at like 2.
Oops. But it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we were talking this morning, like I changed my outfit. Like I change my character's outfit every morning when I wake up, and that's what I wear for the day. And then like we went out for like a date in the game, and I was like, oh, gotta put on date clothes. And you were like, what are you doing?
No, I got it. I understood. I was like, wait, what? Okay, fine, I get it.
Yeah, so like I've got like a routine in the game where I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed at the end of the day, and I gotta wake up, and I gotta put on my whole outfit, and I gotta chop every single tree, like all of them.
She's not kidding. She actually makes sure to get every bit of wood.
I did not do
tree.
it yesterday though.
I don't believe it.
I really didn't.
There's a mode of gaming where you can just kind of veg as you play. So you just, you know, whether you had a long day at work or school, whatever your age is, where you are in your life, and you just want to get home and you just want to like chill, this game is great for that. You don't really need to be in the zone as you play.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of skill-based stuff involved that we'll talk about in a bit. For the most part, you can even ignore all that stuff if you really wanted to.
Yeah, yeah. And there's so many different things you can do. Like I know you're very much like a collector when it comes to the museum. And so
yeah, that's my main thing.
Yeah, like you're like, all right, like I know this comes out at this time of day and this comes out at that time of day, and I'm like, I'm fishing occasionally and getting some money so I can decorate my house.
Before I even downloaded the game, I had a list of every fish and bug,
Yep.
where they spawn, what times they're out, like
Yep.
what time of year they're around. Like
Yeah, you
I
had
might
like
have.
a million
Okay.
tabs like open on your
It was
computer. You were just
3.
like, I'm ready for this.
3.
Next up, we want to talk about multiplayer, which we got to do together, which was so much fun.
You were such a dork with that.
We totally had an Animal Crossing date night, which was a lot of fun.
It's nice because we can't actually go out.
Right, because, you know, coronavirus, so we can't actually, like, go out and have a date night. But, like, we wore matching outfits, and we had dinner at my place.
Did we wear matching outfits?
We wore matching outfits. It was
I don't
not
remember this.
entirely intentional.
Did you look at what I was wearing and copy it? So... That's what I thought.
But it was so much fun. We took, like, a whole bunch of pictures.
It's fun to just go to people's islands and like see what they're doing, see their, you know, the game ends up being an outlet of creative expression, like how people design their islands and what they put in their room, and it's really interesting to go to people's islands and see that. Even just like online, we were watching videos and like some of the islands, it's like, oh my god, there's a guy who actually recreated the first town of Earthbound.
Yeah,
Like or at least a part of it. It looks really cool. He was running around like a little nest, and it's interesting what people are doing with this already.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks.
And you even, like, you get little ideas. Even if they don't have a crazy island, you get some, like, little decorating ideas. Like, you had shoes by the door, and I didn't even, like, think, oh, yeah, people put their shoes by the door.
Yep.
Like,
Boots and rain boots.
Right. Like, that just makes a lot of sense. So.
Yep.
clap, clap.
Clap to
Kudos
me, I guess.
you, yeah. Also, I feel like when people visit your island, you get like this sense of pride, like I made this thing, and now everybody's coming to see it. And then when people are like, good job, you did a thing. I'm always just like, oh, yay.
Dork. But that's not to say the game doesn't have problems. There were definitely moments of frustration, especially when fishing, to try to get the
Angle.
right in the right spot.
Angle. Do you see what I did there? It's like
Angler, I know.
No, tickles.
To get the lure in the right spot, like, it's really finicky. If there is a way to actually just turn your character, please let us know.
Yep.
Because it's really annoying when it's like, oh, I gotta get this perfect angle, but now I'm too close, so now I have to back up and try again. It doesn't fit the experience very well.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because there are other games out there of a similar genre made on a fraction of the budget that's not even remotely an issue.
And that affects furniture placement too,
Yeah.
because it's really hard to get the right angle. I also think that another issue is camera angles. When you're in your house, you can rotate the camera, and that's awesome, but I really wish you could rotate the camera no matter where you are.
And this would actually solve the other problem. If you could rotate the camera, it's a lot easier to control like forward and backwards than like up and a little right,
Yeah.
you know, or down and a little left.
The scenery is beautiful, and I just want to be able to tilt the camera and see it all a lot
Yeah,
better.
I feel like back in the 90s or early 2000s when games didn't really turn cameras as much.
Yeah.
It's like really, it's weird.
Which is a common problem with Nintendo. Like a lot of Nintendo games don't like to give freedom of the camera. Like Pokemon does this a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying. So I wish Nintendo would just free up the camera because I don't see why not.
In Animal Crossing, you can't build on somebody else's island. And actually, that if I'm on Kayla's island, she can't even rearrange or build things while I'm there, which means there's no collaborative creative thing going on. And I think that's also a big con to the game.
I think it's both a con and a pro because I personally like my island to be my island in my
Oh yeah, no, of
space.
course.
And it's like the islands are also pretty small. Like Minecraft is
That's
big.
that's one of the
So
problems.
it's a problem, but it's also like fine because it gives you a limited space to create your own.
No, I get that.
Your own
And you want,
personality,
and as I
your
said before, you want to have a creative outlet, and
Right.
by having your own space to do that, that's really cool. But why are there not multiplayer islands? Why can't there be, a multiplayer island where you and all your friends could get together and
Yeah.
do things together? Like, I feel like that would open up the possibilities of the game and the longevity quite significantly.
What's interesting too is, and we were seeing this with Pokemon as well, like it's entirely possible that they could have downloadable content that they add on. So,
Yeah.
maybe they'll add something like that in the future and everybody can go to this like multiplayer island. But other than that, there are so many pros to this game.
Oh yes, very much so.
Like for me, I feel like it's making me feel things that I haven't felt in a game in a long time. Even the very basic of the game is relaxing, and I feel like in a lot of games, either the basic of the game isn't relaxing or it's just kind of tedious, and I don't feel that way with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I mean, I spent an hour just trying to find bugs earlier today, and it didn't feel tedious.
Right, it actually feels fun. There's also moments of surprise in this game, like with the balloons and like, oh, I finally found that bug, don't let it run away, don't let it run, oh no, it ran away, you know? Like,
that happened to me today.
yeah, that's happened to me so many times. And overall too, I think the game is especially good for people with mental illness, whether it's anxiety, depression, or something else. I know I have depression and
I have at least a bit of anxiety.
yeah, just a little.
Just a little.
Tiny little. But yeah, so we both found that it's really relaxing and it's really nice. Like, I know for me with depression, like, there's some days where I don't feel very accomplished, and that's really hard for me. Like, I kind of need a goal and I need like I accomplished this today in order to feel like a worthwhile human being. And I feel like Animal Crossing, especially with my inability to go outside right now because of the coronavirus, like, Animal Crossing is giving me a thing to accomplish every day, which helps me like get up in the morning, and it helps me like be happy because like I have had some weeks lately where I have not felt happy, and like honestly this week as far as like quarantine has been the best one so far for me. And I say best one, like obviously it's not great, we're still stuck inside and that sucks, but it's been significantly better than the other weeks.
Yeah, I agree. And for me, with my at least mild anxiety, it becomes a nice escape where like any little worry just kind of turns off for a bit. You know, I don't have to worry about what's going on with coronavirus and all the other stuff in the world. And it's like, I can just catch some bugs. I didn't know I like catching bugs so much.
Yeah, you really like catching
I don't know.
bugs.
I don't like bugs in real life. I mean, they don't.
Bug catcher Matthew wants to fight.
They don't bother me except spiders.
That being said, Animal Crossing is not a replacement for mental health counseling, so
No.
make sure that you still go to your therapist or get medication or do what you need to do in addition to Animal Crossing. And also make sure to balance Animal Crossing and real life because it's very easy to be sucked in. But overall, I think we would both recommend the game.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for the world and the state that it's in right now, but I think also in general.
I think in general it's a fine game. I think
Fine?
it's a fine game.
You mean fine like,
Yeah,
fine.
it's a fine
Not
game.
fine like, it's just fine.
It's fine.
Let us know how your island's coming along. Let us know how much money you owe Tom Nook. Bye.
Bye.